Chapter 1: Survival in Desperation. The game began on Hell difficulty. Qin Muen and a young woman floated in the middle of the ocean, clinging to nothing but a single wooden plank. Above, the sun blazed mercilessly. Below, dark shark shadows loomed and disappeared beneath the waves. Suddenly, the water exploded. A shark lunged straight at them. At the critical moment, Qin Muen lifted the plank. The girl froze, thinking he was about to abandon her and escape. But in the very next second, wham! He slammed the plank square into the shark's face, fighting the beast head-on. But saving someone at sea is never as simple as a single blow. The girl's strength gave out, and she sank straight into the depths. The shark didn't retreat. It opened its jaws wide, coming after her again. Just as it was about to strike, it caught a strong scent of blood from above and abruptly veered toward the surface. The source? Qin Muen's injured arm. He quickly bandaged the wound, took a deep breath, and dove into the water. The next scene would sear itself into memory. With a shard of wood in hand, he twisted his body mid-swim and drove it into the corner of the shark's eye, tearing out a deep gash. While the predator reeled in pain, he broke the surface for air, then plunged back down, heading straight for the sinking girl. Just as her eyes were closing, a pair of hands cut through her despair, dragging her toward the shore. On the beach, before she could process what had happened, she saw Qin Muen pressing his palms repeatedly on her chest. "Pervert," she gasped, reflexively slapping him across the face. Qin Muen's tone was calm, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and a little mouth-to-mouth. The air thickened with awkward silence. Her cheeks flushed. Thank you. But the awkwardness wasn't over yet. Qin Muen pulled out his phone. "You still have a working phone?" she asked, surprised. "No signal," he replied evenly. The girl gave him a hug. "Are you an idiot? Look, you can still make an emergency call without signal." She grabbed the phone and fiddled with it, only to find she really couldn't send anything. She was about to question whether the phone was broken when she turned and saw Qin Muen climbing a tree. "It's not the phone," he said from above. "There's no signal at all on this island." The two sat on the shore, trying to think rationally. Where were they? How could they call for help? How long could they last? Suddenly, Qin Muen's expression changed. "Shut up." In one fluid motion, he leapt from the tree, rushed to her side, and clamped a hand over her mouth. At that exact moment, whoosh, thunk, a spear slammed into the ground where they had just been standing. 3 figures burst from the jungle, covered in animal hides, faces painted with savage designs, each gripping a spear, eyes full of menace. From the jaws of sharks into the hands of savages. This island was more than just a place of desperation, and Qin Muen seemed to know better than anyone. The real danger had only just begun. Chapter 2: Friend or Foe. From deep within the jungle, 3 savages emerged, faces twisted with paint and rage, bodies covered in crude markings, spears gripped tightly in their hands. To avoid unnecessary conflict, Qin Muen took the initiative to greet them. "Hello, bonjour, ni hao." The reply he got was a spear flying straight for his face. He dodged sideways, muttering, "What, did I kill your whole family or something?" But these people weren't interested in talking. One of them leapt high, bone axe swinging down toward Qin Muen's head. Qin Muen snatched a fallen branch from the ground, blocking the strike, then twisted and kicked the attacker square in the face. Another charged forward with his spear. Qin Muen seized the shaft, yanked it free, and sent a crushing punch to the man's jaw. "Behind you," the girl screamed. He spun aside just in time to avoid a lethal blow. Now Qin Muen was sure of one thing. These people are not here to make friends. And then, things got worse. One savage grinned wickedly and lunged at the girl. She barely had time to react before being kicked to the ground. Looking up, she saw the raised spear, its tip ready to fall. A spray of blood. She opened her eyes to find the man's chest impaled by a spear, thrown by Qin Muen. Expression cold, he ripped it free, then in one swift motion slashed another attacker's throat. One left. Grabbing the fallen bone axe, Qin Muen hurled it like a missile, and followed it with a flying knee that smashed into the last savage's chest. The axe struck a split second later, burying itself deep. 3 enemies, all dead. Silence fell, heavy enough to hear heartbeats. The girl stared at Qin Muen, his clothes drenched in blood, and felt something she hadn't expected: Fear. Her voice trembled. Are you really Qin Muen? He gave a single, calm nod. She swallowed hard, then said with sudden conviction, I'll testify for you. That was self-defense. Her fear lingered, but curiosity pushed her to ask, I thought you studied medicine? Qin Muen gave a faint smile. Before university, I was in the army. The scene shifted. A memory, a special assignment. A powerful pharmaceutical tycoon, Yan Yufei's father, Yan Shixi, had recruited him to enroll as a first-year Chinese medicine student to protect a certain girl. But before the mission could even start, the cruise ship exploded, dragging Qin Muen into a deadly whirlpool. This island might not be an accident at all. It might be a trap. Under the scorching island sun, Qin Muen worked with crude tools to gather coconuts. Suddenly, the woman shouted toward the ocean. Look, out there. Is that someone? They both squinted. Far on the horizon, a life raft drifted slowly toward shore. They might be survivors. I'll go get them. She stepped forward, but Qin Muen caught her arm. Don't go into the water. It wasn't cruelty. He had seen something moving beneath the surface. Cut to the life raft. The people aboard had noticed too, black shapes circling beneath them. Sharks. The water churned. The raft buckled under the threat. Back on shore, the woman finally saw them. Dozens of them. Qin Muen was silent for a few seconds, then turned and picked up a corpse. What are you doing? She gasped. Bait. Carrying the body into the shallows, he waded deeper and deeper, then shoved it hard into the open sea. The water erupted in blood and foam. The sharks swarmed the offering. Qin Muen rushed back to shore to grab a second body. I'll help, the woman said, running forward. Together, they hurled the next corpse into the water. And just like that, on the razor's edge between life and death, they bought precious seconds for the raft. The survivors paddled with desperate strength, finally hitting the sand. Collapsed, they gasped like people pulled straight from hell. If it weren't for you, we'd be done for, the woman said gratefully. Another survivor, Yang Min, nodded. You saved us. The peace didn't last long. Someone asked how they distracted the sharks. Corpses, Qin Muen said plainly. The group froze. You mean human corpses? His voice stayed calm. Feeding dead men to sharks is better than feeding them the living. The air turned cold. Everyone took an involuntary step back. Yang Min quickly explained. Those men attacked us first. He only defended himself. But Hu Qingfeng frowned. You killed to bait sharks? That's too dangerous. Soon someone suggested taking precautionary measures against Qin Muen. Chapter 4, First Dispute. Hu Qingfeng spoke first. Qin Muen shouldn't be allowed to move freely. At night, we tie him up, just in case. He gave Yang Min a reassuring smile. Don't worry, I'll protect you. Her face went cold. Protect? Without him, you'd be shark food by now. Hu Qingfeng pushed on. But he killed people. Who knows how those savages died? It's dangerous to stay with someone like him. Qin Muen didn't bother arguing. If you think it's dangerous here, I can always send you back, into the sea. The look in his eyes froze Hu Qingfeng on the spot. Yang Min snapped, You didn't even see it happen. Stop making baseless accusations. The instructor spoke up. He saved us. Show some trust. Embarrassed, Hu Qingfeng muttered, I was just thinking of everyone's safety. Li Yingkai took the opportunity to change the subject. Let's calm down. I'm Li Yingkai, executive supervisor for a construction group. He said it like the title should carry weight. He asked what everyone thought their next move should be. Qin Muen pointed out the lack of food and fresh water near the beach, suggesting the jungle might hold resources or dangers like the unknown tribes. The instructor agreed it was risky to rush in, but Li Yingkai dismissed the warning. There can't be big predators here. As for the tribes, be friendly, they'll be friendly. Hu Qingfeng chimed in. Right, natives are usually simple and kind. Yang Min almost exploded, but Qin Muen raised a hand to stop her. Lifting the bone axe from the ground, his gaze locked on Hu Qingfeng. 1 kill is still a kill. 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6. What do you think? Hu Qingfeng paled. What are you? The instructor stepped in quickly. Don't be impulsive. Qin Muen raised the axe. Thunk! Ah! Help! Hu Qingfeng screamed. Coconut juice sprayed everywhere. The axe had split a coconut clean in two. You want some? Qin Muen asked calmly. From his pocket, he tossed a wolf's fang to the ground. Silence. There might be wolves here. Li Yingkai's smile faltered. Still, he insisted, we can't just wait around. We search the jungle for supplies and survivors. After a pause, Qin Muen said, fine, but we don't go too deep. Chapter 5, Betrayal. Yang Min recognized the frantic voices echoing from the trees. It was the instructor and Hu Qingfeng. They might be in trouble. They're already here. Qin Muen cut her off, eyes narrowing. Moments later, the two men burst from the jungle, pale as corpses. Run for the beach, Qin Muen barked. Yang Min hesitated, but he yanked her into motion. In the chaos, the instructor stumbled hard. I'll help. Yang Min froze mid-step. A massive wild boar, easily over 300 pounds, charged forward, tusks glinting, roaring like thunder. Keep running, don't look back, Qin Muen shouted, and ran straight toward the fallen instructor. Hu Qingfeng, meanwhile, slid up beside Yang Min in a mock heroic pose. I'll protect you. I'm going back for him, she snapped. Hu Qingfeng's face darkened. Always him. Qin Muen grabbed the instructor and hurled him toward Yang Min. Go! Then, a sudden shove from behind. Hu Qingfeng, Qin Muen staggered forward, straight into the boar's path. The impact slammed into his body, knocking the breath from his lungs. Blood dripped from his lips. You're hurt, Yang Min's voice carried, and drew the boar's attention. The beast lowered its head, charging again. Qin Muen knew, take the hit, and he'd die. But watch Yang Min die? Never. He launched himself into her, shoving her clear. A mountain's weight crashed into his chest. He flew, rolling across the dirt, blood spraying from his mouth. The boar snorted, pawed the ground, readying for another rush. The instructor and Yang Min screamed in unison, Move! Do you think Qin Muen can dodge the next strike? Leave your guess in the comments. And don't forget to like and follow so you won't miss the next deadly twist in this island survival.